I request everyone to switch on your cameras till the time we begin. We will be beginning in another 1 to 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow career enthusiasts, a very warm welcome to today's session. We are your hosts, Neha and Ankush. As a renowned author once said, your resume is an advertisement of yourself. It should be designed to sell your abilities and achievements convincingly and attractively. This quote emphasizes the importance of crafting a resume that effectively showcases your skills and experience.
Get ready to embark on a transformative journey as we dive into the world of resume makeovers. By the end of this session, you will have the tools and confidence to craft a resume that not only reflects your achievements but also showcases your potential and sets you apart in today's competitive job market. Let's embark on our journey of resume makeover, transforming your career story.
So, before beginning, let's present you a thought-provoking question. If your resume had a voice, what story would it tell about your career journey? Please answer in the chat box.
Take a moment to reflect on this question. Imagine your resume as a storyteller narrating your professional experiences, accomplishments, and aspirations. What story would it convey to potential employers? You can type your answers in the chat box.
Come on, guys, we are waiting for your responses. You can type at least a word in the chat box.
Anything, guys, that you feel that a resume will convey. If your resume had a voice, what story would it tell about your career journey? School topper, that's great. Impact, perfect.
Nicely said, Krati. Multi-talented, yeah.
Multi-talented, adaptability, leadership, great, Nitin. Startup founder at the age of 16, perfect, and fit.
Absolutely said, Gandharv. Okay, so what fantastic perspectives we are had. Your creativity and introspection truly shine through. Your answers reflect the power of a well-created resume in telling a unique career story. Absolutely.
As you all know, today's session is about resume makeover. Crafting an effective resume is like sculpting your career story into words, highlighting your strengths, experiences, and aspirations. Your resume becomes your personal marketing tool, and we are here to guide you through this transformative process.
That's right, Ankush. We have a perfect expert joining us today. Someone who has mastered the art of resume makeovers and has helped numerous individuals unlock their career potential. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our esteemed speaker for today, Ms. Tanvi Gupta.
She is senior HR at Programming and head of the mobile division. She is an experienced recruitment consultant and a skilled culture builder, specializing in early careers, resume reviews, and designing compelling LinkedIn content. As a freelance consultant, she goes beyond recruitment by offering valuable resume reviews and profile consultations.
With her expertise in recruitment for various sectors, including tech, non-tech, IT, ITES, bulk hiring, recruiting profiles, and even medical positions, she has a proven track record of connecting the right talent with the right business opportunities.
So, if you want to present your best selves to potential employers, ensuring your resumes are strategically crafted to leave a lasting impression, this is the session for you guys.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's embark on this enlightening session. Ma'am, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Sneha. Ankush, lovely explanation of driving the session. Wonderful to be here. Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, perfect. So I really am not interested in having individual calls. I am not one of your professors. So people, be free to turn on your videos. Let's make it interactive session because this might help you in future. If not today, if you are an undergrad, probably in first or second year, this is the start where you can, look forward to. Brilliant faces ahead. No worries if somebody is traveling and just attending the session. Feel free to be here. But it would be great if I can see more faces. Okay. Lovely. So talking about resume, Sneha, do we have access for all of them so they can speak as well?
Ma'am, they can write in the chat box.
Okay. So I'm fairly sure in today's world, all of us are aware what a resume is, or probably how CV should look, and what was biodata. I'm not sure that people would be aware what was biodata, but fairly sure people are very much interested in knowing about resumes. Right? You can comment and mention in the chat box that if you're aware of what biodata looked like and how a resume should look like. And I'm fairly sure that all of us in this particular age timeline is specifically looking at a career. Not sure that all of us are definitely looking at professional backgrounds only, because people might be moving ahead to businesses, probably MBAs, probably setting out foot in different countries. So a resume is more of an introduction to someone who is not even aware of you, your whereabouts, where you're coming from, what kind of background you must be holding. I have done some PPT work so that it is very easy for you to read out if at all somebody is facing network issues. So Sneha, you can stop the screen share. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Oh, yes.
Somebody can just comment it, or somebody can unmute and just mention if it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yes? Okay. Works best. So, to be very, very frank with you, there is no particular format or no particular design that can lead you to a job. Okay. Initially, I would want to speak about the first thing, that is getting a job, right? So, to be very, very frank with you, if you feel that this is my go-to resume palette and this will make me stand out in front of recruiter, sorry my friend, there is no particular format for you. However, when we build a resume or when we build a CV, it is very important that we mention the correct information, or moreover what kind of role or responsibility we would want to land into. Okay, so let's speak about basic whereabouts of resume. Firstly, I am very sure people would have this question that why do I even need a resume? Why can't I just apply? I'm very sure you might have applied on certain internships over LinkedIn and you would have found that you can just simply skip resume part. But is it going to land you to the job? Is it going to give you that space? Probably you can showcase that you are well designed for this particular position. So that is where we come down with resumes. I have already introduced, so we can skip to this part. So what is not required, or probably certain pointers what you really need to understand while going forward and making the resume. Avoid jargons. Now jargons could be I am a hardworking professional, I am talented, using the similar lines, okay, because people are not really interested of you claiming that you are hardworking. If you are really hardworking, try to put down experiences and examples. That makes wonders. And to be very crisp, recruiters or probably whoever is shortlisting your profile from the company will not have much amount of time to close one position. We are into very competitive market. So if you guys feel that restricting down and making very well worded resume should do, probably you need to think again. Use keywords. This is one of the most important part. We will also cover this when we are going ahead and explaining the skill section, but remember, using keywords is basically a step ahead. If you use keywords, probably you are going to land up into the particular section very well. So I'll give you a real-time example. If I'm looking out to hire a social media guy, okay, this could be an intern position, this could be a senior position, I would go ahead and search down the particular skill set that I'm looking. I might not only go with people who have applied for the job or who have just mentioned that I'm keen to explore social media end. So using keywords can be a good bliss. Moving ahead, use simple layouts. This again we will cover up, but the clean your layout will look, it will give an edge to the recruiter or probably the HR to have a read through. We do not have much time looking at a very well worded resume because it has a lot of paragraphs to it. And you just got 30 seconds to get shortlisted. I'll explain this in detail, but to give you a heads up, recruiters or probably whoever is hiring, this could be managerial positions as well. People do not spend a lot of time in shortlisting process. They would really want to know you till the time you have already, passed on at least 2 rounds of interviews. Okay, so what should be there in your resume? Typically, it should consist of your basics, that could be your name, your location, your email, your mobile number, but what else get you shortlisted, because that is what the session is for. So highlight your work. By highlighting, I'm not trying to mention that you just put out that I have been the leader or I have done so and so. By highlighting, we definitely mean that you were a team of 5, you were a team of 10, and particularly this was your initiative. You have taken the responsibility, you have taken the ownership, and if now you have not been a part of such interactions, try to do that. Demonstrate your presentation abilities. Now this is a very important part if at all you are looking towards consulting line, if you're looking towards data jobs. So if you have good presentation views, supposedly if you have worked with numbers, like for an example, if you were working with a lot of data and you're applying for data analyst job, right? If you put it out in a very good manner, it will be reflected very well. And showcase your skills, whatever skills you have. Probably you are coming from a marketing background, looking for a marketing role, right? You have to showcase to them that these were my client connects, this is my warm connects, I have closed these many numbers, giving down the details innovators really helps. Okay, so for people who are confused about how to build a resume, if at all you are not well versed with using AI or probably using multiple tools and platforms, which we will discover in the later half of the session, if you are not somebody who is already aware how to do that, these are the three routes that you can use probably. You can be a part of career workshops like the one that you are handling, or you are being a part of, like today's session. You can use multiple building tools. So I will cover up certain names at the end, and you can use certified resume writers, somebody like me, somebody you know already, or probably you can use AI for it. But uh, do remember, the content part has to be yours. It cannot be copied from somewhere else. This will give you a wrong edge, because somebody else might not be well aware of what your strengths and weaknesses are. You can add on a lot of fake points, but that might not help you when you are shortlisted and moving out for an interview process. So keep this in mind. Anyone any question till now? No, yes, anything? All clear, ma'am. Okay, great. No, 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 no. Okay, so how many of us already have a resume? Just you can raise your hand, or you can just type it down in the chat box. I would really want to know this. I have it. Me. Okay, lovely. So people who all have a resume, have you created it on your own, or you have used someone's help, or how does it look on Canva? Canva is a really good tool, but you really need to adjust the design. At times people forget it. Resume builder tool. Wow, perfect. Self-worded. Self-worded are one of the best resumes. People who have created their resumes on a Word format, or probably using Google Docs. Remember, your profile does not have any design, so it gets better shortlisting when somebody is using ATS tool. I'll explain about ATS tool on LinkedIn. Wow. So LinkedIn page might not cover a lot of things, Jatin. You need to have a look at the content that you have added on LinkedIn in that case. Okay, great. So far, anything that you would want to understand that I've already taken up? ATS tool, yes, I will cover it very soon. Okay, great. Let's not take much time here. So, okay. Moving ahead, the do's and don'ts of resume formatting. I am very sure a lot of people might have given a lot of suggestions. When it comes to resume, I have personally received a lot of, crackjack points. Now, crackjack points are basically, let us assume somebody wants to work in a good organization based out in India, and this person is located in Delhi. Okay, I have personally seen so many people putting down their entire address on resume. I'm very sure there would be people attending this session with this kind of format, where they have entered their entire address, which is a little intimidating. You are not, you can skip that part. So moving on to do's and don'ts. Clean minimal design does not mean that you have to use Canva, that you have to use a particular tool. Okay, it can be clean because of the font style, because of the font size, because you have not used very dark shaded backgrounds, because you have not you have not used bold on the entire script. So do remember, if you have added a Canva or probably any other tool and you have missed these parts, you have to make a change. Avoid adding photo. Now, a lot of our mentors have mentioned that photos are good thing to have. So why this person is telling us that we should avoid adding photos? Now the part here is you can have a photo but try to keep it very professional. A lot of us might have LinkedIn pictures with unprofessional, informal photographs, right? So that is the part where we miss generally when we are sharing our profile. One more thing to add here, your social profile means a lot to recruiters, especially when you are going to apply to a very good organization, probably that has good connect in India as well as overseas. So do start mentioning your LinkedIn profiles. Probably if you are into social media, your social media marketing style, then probably your other accounts. Probably if you're a tech guy, so do mention Slack and other resources that you are using to portray your work. Now, avoid adding photo is not where you just simply remove your formal photo. Keep a good detailed photo, keep it very small. Do not try to, just put a very big, large photograph beside the content because that might not help you. Coming to using bullet points. Now, to give you an edge, we have three different type of formats that we generally use while drafting a particular resume. I'm not sure how many of you would be aware. Please do mention if you're aware of this, that there are three types of resumes that you can build. One of the basic uh, resume style that we are all aware of is a combination resume. Are you aware? Is anyone aware what is a combination resume is, or how does it look like? Not aware. Okay. Okay. To give you an edge, a combination resume is a balanced resume where you try to portray your skills, your education, probably your work experience, your projects, and including your basic like name, email addresses, all of those. So your basic details inclusive of all the sections. If at all people are moving for MBA, this one is the most helpful resume for you. You need to have a balance in between your education as well as your skills, your extracurricular activities. So this particularly gives you an aid when you are applying for MBA. Talking about the next one, that is a chronological resume format. Now chronological is the basic biodatas or the basic CVs that we have been looking. So if people are aware what a biodata is, you simply just put down all your life events on one page. That is your education being the first column, then moving ahead with your work experience if at all you have, your skills, your projects, but in a limited format. So this was basically used for a very long tenure, and then we moved ahead to functional resumes. Do note these pointers because probably when you are trying to draft a resume, you might need the suggestions using these names. Calling out for functional resumes look more designed. These resumes highlight your skills. These resumes are basically made to create an impact to the viewer. So I don't have I don't have one example of it as of now, but if at all people are aware, just put a yes, and if no, I can take up some more time on functional resumes. Okay. No worries, I can spend 5 minutes on functional resumes because it is a very important topic. Functional resumes are basically well drafted resumes So, for example, I am in HR, right? So I started my journey in recruitment and then I moved ahead with HR function. Now, both of these functions have a lot of mixtures. In HR, you look towards employee engagements, you look towards appraisals, you look towards performance, productivity. A lot of things like KRA, KPI, OKRs are added when it comes to HR functionality. But when I speak about recruitment, it is it is a restricted background with numbers. So how many closures I have made, how many people I have been connected with, what is the total strength that I have delivered to one particular organization, what was the strength I was taking care of. Okay, so when I would be drafting a functional resume, I will highlight these key points that my employee strength was 150 plus. I have recruited so and so numbers. I have been a part of this big team, and my skills are specifically this, right? So this is how a functional resume is basically being highlighted in front of recruiters to showcase that I am probably the best fit candidate for this particular position that you have listed. And one key point here that might not be visible to you for a very long time until you are in industry is when you go out and you look out for a JD. I am sure that you guys are aware what a JD is. To give you the full form, it is the job description. Probably whenever a recruiter or the manager is updating a job description on any platform, it could be Naukri, it could be LinkedIn, could be in your college groups. So in placement season, you might be receiving a lot of JDs on your WhatsApps, right? So when you spend some time reading out the JD, try to pick out the word that recruiter is trying to emphasize. If this particular organization is looking at team value, they need somebody to coordinate or they need someone to close, that is sales profile. If these are the pointers mentioned in the job description, pick those points, put it out on your resume that you have closed XY number of deals, you have worked in placement committee, you have been a part of this particular coordination, right? Multiple committees that you have worked with, to emphasize that you have good team building responsibilities, you have good leadership, and you have been a very fruitful resource. This basically highlights that you will continue doing that for their organization. That is how you get shortlisted. People with basic resumes, basic details on their resume will. I'm not saying that they would be surely rejected, but it is a high chance, high probability that they won't go further. Anyone with any question till now? Anyone who wants to understand functional resume in depth? Or this was good to understand? Clear now. Okay. So guys, do have a read on how to draft a functional bulleted resume. Just do a basic understanding on Chrome, Google, or probably AI. Just use any platform. You guys are smart enough to draft your resumes. Don't just put down your details on Canva and get it sorted. Okay, invest time in building a resume, building a profile. And by building a profile, it is not just one page of resume, it is much more beyond. Whatever you're trying to portray to the recruiter on that one page will decide if you are in for the position or you are just out. Let's move ahead. Okay, I missed out these points, right? Bullet points and proofreading. Now, proofreading is just not checking the grammar or probably, word mistakes. It is much more than that. You have to really check if the phrasing, the kind of message that you want to give to that particular recruiter is clear or not. Don't use a lot of fancy words. You might lose on in the interviews. If you're adding a lot of, vague words, you might lose on to ATS. I guess somebody has one question. Can we display certification and courses? Yes, do that. So displaying certifications is one of the best part that you can do, but not to exaggerate them. So if you're trying to just push out that you have been attendee or volunteer to 10 different committees or 10 different you know certifications, it might not lead you anywhere. Just put one or two certifications that you have excelled in. Any other question, guys? Bullet points is where we try to mention in a nutshell that what we have been doing. So rather than putting your information about a project in a paragraph, which might not be very useful, which could be boring as well at times. So just simply put a one-liner that you have been excelling this particular committee since so many months, and you have worked in an internship, you have learned particular activities out of those internships. That should be a great help. Moving ahead. Okay, so I'm very sure that all of you are curious to understand why you get shortlisted, or probably why you did not got shortlisted, right? Is it necessary to avoid white spacing while framing bullets? Not really. If you have good content available, if you have worked with multiple internships and you have a lot to add, you can keep the font as minimal as 11 and probably skip the spaces. But if you have not worked into a lot of committees, projects, or internships, try to keep a basic spacing so that it doesn't look like an empty resume. Can we mention the inter-college society competition which we have done? Yes, you can. It can give a lot of good effects to recruiters' eye because you have been doing a lot more than just education. People who feel that excelling in educational field, getting good marks, ranking first is the only way to get a good job into a good multinational organization or into your dream organization. This is not true. Understand that organizations are looking at a balanced person, not the first ranker. So if you are a first ranker, very well done. You have been doing a great job. But if you are not a part of even one internship or one project or probably one committee, you have been a disappeared kid in the college. Probably you need to rethink because your communication might lose on. You might be unaware how people work together. So team spirit or team collaboration is a really must skill. People need to work on that. For a student, how much pages a resume should be? One page. Even for people who have been working in the industry for 3 to 5 years, ideally one page resume is what we try to push on. If at all you have worked with 6 to 7 organizations, start mentioning the last three and rest all you can just mention the name. So assuming that if I have 10 different work experiences, I will just mention chronologically last 3 organizations that I worked with, mentioning that these were my core responsibilities, not even taking out time to push across with more than 5 bullet points and putting the name of rest all the organizations. Just the name and the designation and the tenure should do. Mentioning about societies we have worked with is helpful. Yes, it is helpful. People who are supporting NGOs, probably committees who are supporting NGOs, do mention that you were a part, you have volunteered, you have made an impact. Ideal resume format, Srishti, there is no ideal resume to get a job, but I will definitely help you out with certain formats. Is photograph necessary? It is up to you. If you have a good formal photograph and a limited content to add to your resume, do add your photograph, otherwise reframe it. Okay. So, how recruiters basically shortlist or reject candidates? All of us must be aware that selection is a process and rejection is what comes along with the process, right? But people, while drafting resumes or applying for a job, do not wish to get rejected. So, let me give you a framework of what is required and what you can skip for the time being. Okay, so as mentioned, you need to use a clean format when it comes to resumes. Okay, my screen is visible to you guys. Just mention yes, no.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, perfect. So there are certain pointers already mentioned over here, but I'll just give you a quick understanding of what is required and what you can skip for time being. Okay, like photograph, you can skip for time being. If at all you have a very good professional photograph, formal photograph that you would want to highlight, and it can give you a good edge, please do use it. Coming to the content part or probably describing yourself. Okay, initially in the same session, we had this question that if your resume is a storyteller, what do you want to portray to a recruiter, or what do you want to portray in the outer world that this is you? Now, while drafting a resume, try to have the mindset clear that you see yourself in this particular job or this particular position. Now, asking yourself this question that what is the skill set or what is the basic qualification required for this particular profile, you can start drafting your resume. For example, when I drafted my resume, I was very clear that for recruitment, communication skill is one must, right? So, but using communication skill in today's time as a skill set is, is a big turn off. So, if you use communication skills, leadership skills, time management skills in your skill section, you need to work on it. You have to really understand the psyche of recruiters. They want to understand if you have experienced it, if you have been doing it, and will you be able to do that or not for us. So personalize your application, understand what is your strength. Probably it could be into data, it could be into presentation, it could be a lot like me. I like to talk a lot. So something like that. You have to come up with your strengths and weaknesses. And if till now you haven't, understood about your own self, just take a pen and page and write it down. That I'm good at excelling this. I am very good with people. I can be a good manager. I can work in silo. So probably I can handle a lot of data, right? So that is where you understand that this is required and that can be skipped. Putting down a lot of emphasis on this particular point that social media presence is very, very much required. Recruiters take out time, spend a lot of time relating to your profile, understanding what kind of connections you have built, trying to know your projects. So if you already have a LinkedIn, try to have at least 500 plus connections, try to have a good profile picture, a good summary and about section, and maintaining good relationship with people who are relevant to your industry. Now you can definitely have your friends added to your LinkedIn, but that won't be a value addition in the end. Using a generic cover letter is not what recruiters want. Recruiters have been handling at least 500 to 1000 resumes every day for one particular position. So if you give a generic cover letter or generic resume style with just mentioning your whereabouts, like my name is Tanvi Gupta, I'm located in Mumbai, and I'm an immediate joiner looking out for opportunities. I will be a good teammate, and just mentioning that I've been graduated, post graduated for so and from so college, and I'm just good enough to be in this job. Just mentioning that might not be a very good push to that recruiter because of the rejection and selection process. Covering your irrelevant experience can give you a negative impact. If I am looking at someone for recruitment and this person has clearly mentioned that the past 2 years background has been into marketing, I might have a setback. I might want to have a look at more profiles that have already applied for this position. Okay, and one of the very good activity that you all can start using AI or without using AI, start writing good emails. So if you have been doing just regular emails to your friends or probably your professors, invest some time in. You can be in any profession, you can be in any industry, emails are still a thing. And I've seen a lot of videos of people who have mentioned that Gen Z emails are very attractive. They just cut short things. Still, they write emails. So, having a good setup of how to draft an email and writing a thank you note after the interview is done, or probably reaching out to multiple HRs of multiple organizations to to just invite them for an interview or probably a discussion, you need to have an ace over that. And don't be afraid of asking questions. Okay, this is one point where people lack a lot of positions. They do not have any question in the end of interview. So your resume can be world class best, your communication could be great, you would be perfect for the position, but you have no idea about the organization, you have no questions in terms of your career, your work journey with that organization. Probably you wouldn't want to understand what your profile needs or the position that you have applied for, what is the right skill set to be shortlisted or selected for the profile. So do have the relevant question, do your homework, understand HR's background, whoever you are meeting with in an interview, and you can excel with a basic resume as well. So if you have drafted a regular resume with no good design, which is not even required, you can have a simple minimal design. Just mentioning about your whereabouts and then putting it out can make sense. Okay, before going to this point, I will take up some questions quickly. Being a college student, who can we write a PO apart from society experience and leadership? You can. It depends if you have a good value addition. Okay, so to give you an edge over resumes, try to portray your strengths in such a way that it just speaks about your strengths. So, assuming all of us have been graduated, or supposedly we have done very good in our graduation days. So, I have been a first ranker in graduation, but I could not ace in my 10th and 12th standard. So, you can highlight your graduation marks. However, you can skip mentioning your 10th and 12th grades, which will obviously give you an edge over other participants. So that is how you should be drafting your entire resume. If you let's suppose that your economics is very good in comparison to all other subjects, right? So just simply try to mention that you have excelled into this particular topic. Okay, it could be an interview, it could be a resume design, whatever works best for you, that has to be mentioned. And wherever you feel that this can be a negative part, somebody who has scored, let's say 40 percentage in 10th, I'm not sure if that is a pass as of now, earlier it was at a time. So if you have had just 50 percentage, okay, and you have highlighted it, you are trying to give a wrong message that you are not a great candidate. And for people who have this question that I am very good in the work that I have been doing, but I have been rejected by multiple organizations, or I am not even allowed to sit into placement because I don't have 70 overall. That is basically 70 percentage or more 70 to 75%. It depends over college to college, but I don't have 90% and more in my particular 10th or 12th or something like that. There we can just skip mentioning that part if at all it is not a college placement and we are trying to put it out in the industry. Guys, just hold on for 1 minute. My laptop's battery is dying. I will just support myself with a charger.
You can write how did you, the session went in the chat box till then. Good to hear that, Nitin and Chavi.
We hope your all queries are being addressed.
Sincere apologies, guys. Okay, we have a lot of questions. We can take questions in the later end. Coming back to, okay, I was trying to mention how you can display your strength and easily remove your weaknesses. Not even your weaknesses, assuming that there are certain dropout points for you, right? People have the mindset that I have to really mention out all the details in resume, which is not a good mindset. You can skip the parts that you really don't want to show. Now, how recruiting happens. Okay, so I'll give you a real-time example in my organization how it happens. So businesses are derived with people. As and when business grows or there is an internal requirement, okay, business heads are going to reach out to HRs are going to reach out to recruiters with specifications. Now these specifications are then added to portals, probably job boards and colleges. Like your college must be having placements, so there would be an ample of JDs passing out. So that is called as funnel. Okay, so once we have posted on a job portal, we go ahead and we download the entire funnel, a list of people who might have applied for the job, and making a right match starts from the specification section. So if I am looking at a recruiter and I have not mentioned the right keywords, probably my resume is not going to be shortlisted, right? So you have to be very thorough with what kind of business this company is into while applying for the job, and then you have to understand that what kind of requirement they would have despite of whatever is mentioned in the job description, because it is very limited in terms of specification. Moving ahead to how the shortlisting process looks like. Now this is a very basic understanding of how it would look, but in different organizations it can be of a lot of stages. So initially a recruiter or probably somebody who's shortlisting will come ahead, take all the profile panel and then start shortlisting and rejecting the profile based on whatever is written in the profile. They will not even make a call. And for this particular step, we use ATS. Now ATS is application tracking system, which is again a basic platform which is being used by a lot of recruiters. So this is where we just upload the entire funnel, and based on your keywords that you have mentioned in the resume, you are going to be shortlisted or rejected by the system itself. It is not even a human who is going to reject you. All of us are there on the call? Okay. So this was about ATS. Then typically when we have a shorter list, a shorter bucket or funnel, we make calls. We try to understand in regards to your location, your expertise, how you have been doing in your academics. Then we go ahead and give another shortlisting that is done by humans. and we set up the interview calls, and then we meet the person and try to get selected or rejections. I'm sure people who have been a part of internship, or probably they have been doing the side hustle of work, these guys would be aware of this process because they have been a part of it. Just type yes if you have been a part of it. Wow, lovely. So, quickly understanding how a human shortlisting is done. So, keep this in mind that ATS shortlistings are only based out of keywords. If you have mentioned the right keywords that has been there on the job description, you will be getting the shortlisting part. If you have used a very complex design, probably your resume is going to be rejected without even checking for keywords. And when it is a human shortlisting, right, people look out for relevant experience. If you do not have any experience, not even internship, they will look out for what you have done extracurricularly after your academics. That works wonders. You have to really emphasize on this point. Secondly, we look out for soft skills. If this person is good to communicate, easy to communicate, or this person has a lot of language issues, probably attitude issues, behavioral issues, you might have to drop that candidature there and then. Then we look out for cultural fitments. Just to give you a layman term, cultural fitment is understanding if this person is going to be a value add when I'm adding this person in my team. So if I am someone who is very bossy and this person is a people pleaser, it is a very wrong and vague example, but to just give you a layman term, I am going to pick up this particular profile just because this candidate is fitting down my requirement. So when large organizations hire, there is a separate round of HRs who are basically just looking at how you sit, how you talk, how you try to portray what you have been doing. Because a lot of times we are good at drafting resumes, we are good at writing about ourselves. But when it comes to in real life interviews, we might lack the confidence, right? It is good to, be nervous at times, but it is not at all good that you can't even speak about yourself. So even though resume is the first point of contact where they try to understand your profile, you have to be thorough with your resume. And industry experience, but obviously because if at all you already have been working into the same profile, this gives you an edge. Okay, we have a lot of slides more, so I'll not take up much time on this particular slide, but to give you a gist, if you are drafting 2-pager or 3-pager resume, people are not going to look at it. So as a fresher or someone who has been working in the industry for less than 5 years, try to keep it very short. 1-pager resumes are the trend. Just Google it, you'll be able to find out how 1-pager resume looks like, and you have to just follow it because at times it works. And generic objectives we have already covered. Do not mention that you are hardworking, you are a teamwork person, you have leadership skills. Simply mentioning them might not give you a good edge. Typos and errors, just do a good spell check before sending your profile to anyone. Read it out. Does it make sense in your head? That is to be answered first. And irrelevant experience we have already covered. Okay, so we all are using AI. I'm very sure if somebody says no, please go ahead and use it. It is a very good tool. Talking about the impacts of technology in shortlisting. I've already spoke about ATS, but to give you an edge, even if you are the best, the perfect candidate for one particular position, you might be rejected because ATS could not find the right relevant keywords. So automatic rejections are done. Even if you have excelled in certain things and you have not mentioned it on your resume thinking that it is irrelevant, that can be a drawback. So you have to really just type out on an Excel or on a Word, simple Word, Just try to mention what all you have been doing past 20 years or probably 16 years of your life. Just jot it down, look at it, understand what your profile should look like. Moving ahead, okay, shortlisting process. ATS screens the resume. If not ATS, people who are sitting across the laptops would be just looking at your resume. If the design is very boring, they might want to skip it because they have a lot of resumes to go through. And people who find it very complex, they will also reject in the end. Okay, so one part or one point that we might have not covered so far is while looking at your resume, right? You should be able to figure out where your skills have been mentioned, where your numbers are being displayed, where your location is clearly out. So if I'm looking at a candidate in Mumbai and I am hiring from Delhi, okay, I am probably not familiar with the word Navi Mumbai, or maybe I am not aware that. There is a difference between Navi Mumbai and Western Line and Central Line, right? So in those cases, if just because recruiter is not aware and you have not clearly mentioned that you are located in particular section in the world, right? They might reject you because otherwise we have to make a call to you and then try to understand that are you located nearby to this organization? Would you be able to travel? In just the COVID era, it was more like wherever you are located, if you have the skill, let's do it. Let's get you on board. But as of now, people have started looking at the location part. So the point here is make an eye-pleasing resume. The less the less page you have covered, the more impactful your basic details look like. It would be great for people to just go through it. Now, shortlistings are done based on soft skills, based on technical skills. By technical, I do not mean IT background. By technical, I mean if somebody is opting out for marketing profile, that person should tell out loud that this person is very good with communication, that this person has worked with good teams, right? So just try to give a good edge to the recruiters. And how to stand out, just use a very good resume pattern. Try to emphasize on bullets and bold color as and when you like it. Okay, these are a few tools that you can use. Just for your reference, there are AI chatbots just to put down your information and get a good phrased sentence. You have video interviewing interfaces, you have a lot of job boards and resume screening AIs as well. So there are multiple platforms where you can upload your resume and get a rating out of it on real time basis. So there will be AI who would be sitting and judging your resume based on how ATS is doing it, and you'll be able to make out what is the percentage of your social profile and where you are standing out when it comes to your resume. Quickly moving ahead to how AI can help you. Okay, basics. You can rephrase with good language. You can use good action verbs, and you can simply use good designs through AI. Now, this is again very lengthy. We do not have a very long time with us. So, anyone who would want to question on this particular slide, please go ahead. Just have a quick read through. It has nothing extra that we haven't spoke about. Anyone with anything?
Excuse me, Mama, I had a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Also, getting would it be better to get in internships of different categories? For example, I'm interested in marketing. Should I go
Hmm.
for a marketing internship to get a better idea of it, or rather than wasting time on it, I could use the AI powered tools to know my interest?
Okay, AI can help you draft a resume, it cannot give you competency. So, having a real time experience is way better than just drafting a resume. If you have an option where you can put down yourself into internships and understand if this particular position, industry, environment is for you or not, do go ahead for internships.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, ATS we have already had a bigger discussion. SEO is basically the keyword searches that ATS does. So if you would want to draft particular resume in to get shortlisted through ATS, if you're applying for big consulting organizations or probably you're opting out for large organizations based out overseas, you can just Google action verbs for your particular internship or your particular interest area. So for example, I have drafted 4 lines mentioning I have been working with XYZ organization for 2 years, and then I have been a part of 1500 members of a team, and I have been handling them. If I just put it out on any AI chatbot and I just rephrase it using a lot of action verbs, I would be able to draft a better keyworded resume. Okay, and editing is all about designing. You can just simply design it in a way that it is easy to catch out what we are trying to say. Again, the chatbot certification training I have already covered, that you have to mention it. If you have excelled in something, there are networking tools like LinkedIn, like there are a lot of platforms where you can connect with the right set of people who can give you a real time experience or exposure towards what is happening in the industry, and accordingly you can redraft about whatever internship you were doing or whatever committee you were a part of. So if you were heading marketing committee and you have raised a good amount, okay, and you are going to collaborate with similar industry, you can just connect with some of the mentors asking for their guidance what exactly is required. Is using a lot of tools and technologies is required in today's time, or connecting like traditional marketing does is much more valuable, and accordingly build your resume. Okay, so let's put down for Q&As. We have good amount of 20 minutes left. Okay, I have good internships to add in my work experience section, but I don't have anything for POR section. That is okay. Okay, so somebody who does not, okay, there are 4 different sections when you are drafting for MBAs: your education, your social cause, your work that you have been doing, your internships, all of those. Okay, if you are lacking of one particular entire section, right, for MBA it might be necessary that you work out for that particular section. So for example, I have not done internships, I have excelled in other 3 columns, right? Then probably if I have a month's time or 2 months time, I will go ahead, reach out recruiters, ask for unpaid or paid internships. If at all my expertise lies into that industry, I take that internship, I cover it up in my resume. That is how we draft for MBAs. Other way around, if you lack of one particular section and you are a regular graduate looking out for corporates, you can simply skip that section, mentioning that you had a lot of things on your plate and you could not go ahead with an internship. The virtual internships add value. Virtual internships only add value if you have had a value addition. So supposedly, if you are a part of an NGO and you haven't done any legwork, right? So if you just clearly mention that, ma'am, I was a part of NGO for 3 months and I've done nothing. This is what your resume is telling out to me, right? So rather than doing that, even if it is a virtual internship, try to have a value addition in your life. That will create an impact on your resume. do virtual internships.
Now
Mm,
it was really an
yes.
insightful session, but yeah, we have an interesting question coming up. That with
Okay.
AI in the picture now, will resumes having the necessary AI skills will be preferred over others?
Will AI will have what?
Let me repeat that. With AI in the picture now, will resumes having the necessary AI skills be preferred over others?
Okay. AI is not introducing new skill sets. So if people feel that AI will take over, it will not. It is just modifying. It is just trying to give a better word for the similar lines that we have been using. So for now, I am probably not using that I am good with Excel. I am clearly mentioning that I am good with analytical skills. This is the difference that AI has made recently, but it is not, something that is being discovered. It is moreover beautifying what we have been doing. How should we try to develop that would look good in resume? Yes, yes. If you have good amount of time left, and if you can work well, please add on. Should we add extracurricular activities done from ninth and 12th standard? It depends. So Srishti, if you are a graduate, probably you are passing out your third year, and you were awarded for a big thing in your ninth or 12th grade. Only then try to mention. Don't go in your past, because if there are projects done by you in your early graduation time, right? And if the recruiter picks it up that okay, you have mentioned in your first year you were a part of so and so thing. Now you try and explain it out to me. And if you lose out there, you might lose out the credibility, whatever you have mentioned on your resume. So that is the only reason we try not to lag entirely what we have been doing in our past, but to keep focused in our present. So while drafting a resume, while drafting a bio or summary, try to draft it in a way where you are trying to mention this was my past. I have been graduated from so and so college. I am an undergrad from so and so college. I have been the best performer from so and so thing. And then moving ahead, presently I am looking myself to be a part of this organization. I am an aspirant for data science. I am an enthusiastic marketer. I am enthusiastic Marcom individual. Marcom is marketing communications, right? So you try to give the past, the present, and the future to the recruiter to give them an insight what would be the value addition that you would be bringing onto the table. Ma'am, I haven't done any internships in first year yet. As I am a first year student, how can I take recruiters confidence on my abilities for my first internship? Okay, whenever it comes down to your first job, your first internship, try to emphasize a lot on your educational background. Okay, so you have always been a distinct performer. You have always performed consistent, and you are very good with your educational background. So somebody who is coming from BCom, okay, taking a very very plain example, BCom, opting out for a finance internship. Okay, you just give out the numbers and tell them out that I have just recently learned so and so concepts, and probably I would be a great value addition. It is all about how you portray your profile. It is never about what you have missed out so far. So if you feel that, okay, boss, I have not been into any internship, that is the reason I'm not getting placed. No, it is wrong. It is you have not used your skill sets, you have not used your strength to put it out, and that is the reason you are not a part of any organization yet. And first year, probably in the second half of the first year, you can definitely go ahead and have internships. For the first semester, try to understand the entire curriculum syllabus for next 3 years. Okay, so people miss out on this part as well, where they do not plan that this is going to be my major this is where I would be, going ahead and leading. So first year is a good amount of time. You can understand what your syllabus looks like, curriculum looks like. Also, you can move out and try out multiple internships. Do not restrict yourself to one industry just because your parents might have added that industry to you, or probably somebody has already spoken about it. That okay, oh, today's time data analysts are earning very well. You should go in data field, but you are very bad with numbers. So understand where your expertise lies firstly. I haven't done internships. How can I take recruiters' confidence? I've already. Okay. What is the competency analysis done by HR of any company? Okay. Majorly, a lot of companies do not, have a tool to have competency analysis. What they basically do is they try to connect you over a call, or probably, okay, so if they have a tool, or if they have a proper setup of KPI, KRAs, and OKRs, they will just try to analyze what you have already written and spoken about yourself, and they'll just do a mix match thing. But when HRs do not understand their own selves, that they have added a JD mentioning a junior level position with 2 years of experience, they might lose out to this point. And you all will be facing a lot of organization and placements where people might have mentioned a training profile with 1 year plus of experience, 2 year plus of experience. Do not feel that you do not fit into the industry. You definitely do. Your expertise is what going to derive your position in the industry. Okay, so we are on 6:20. Quickly, certain questions on what a resume looks like, or what it should be looking like. And Sneha, if we can allow them all to speak as well, it would be great.
Sure, ma'am, I'll ask the admins.
Uh, Specific skills for internships, just mention if you have been a part of any committee. Like as of now, Chavi, you are a part of a placement committee, connecting with a lot of recruiters, or let's just move the word recruiter out, connecting with a lot of mentors in the industry, identifying mentors, having good connections, and knowing the bridge gap, right? This is a very good skill set that you already have. So you can just okay. So you can just simply mention that you are a collaborator work. So this might not go directly to your skill set section, but you can, while mentioning that you have worked for Ace and Place, you can just simply bullet down these points that you are a wonderful collaborator. I am a collaborator working with 50 members in a team. I have reached out to 2,000 people on LinkedIn, 2,000 mentors. Just put down the numbers that you have been doing this. Do we have more questions? I have missed a lot of questions in between, honestly. So somebody who would want to repeat their question because we have missed it.
So there's a question that what keywords should we look for in a resume, like as you mentioned, the recruiter search for keywords. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. So if you are not going for MBA and you want a balanced resume in spite of having an internship, start mentioning out your college projects, but relevant ones. If so, for an example, if you're coming down from an engineering background, right, and you have mentioned technology that was taught to you in the first semester, first year, and now in your fourth year, you don't have a good hand grip towards that technology, and you're still mentioning it out. If it is being questioned, you are clueless, and that will give you a big drawback. So do not try to ruin your resume with a lot of words, because recruiters pick it out from your resume only. Maximum questions are either the ones that they have already prepped out, or the ones that are clearly visible on your resume. And if you're mentioning that I was a sports player, and I'm good with football, I have played with state level teams, it is a very good addition. People at times feel that if I'm opting out for consulting organizations, I might skip my hobby. which is not a good practice. You really need to put it out that extracurricularly you were involved with certain activities.
Thank you, ma'am. So we will take up last question now. If one gets admitted in a foreign university for deferred course, is it right to mention that in your resume?
If you have taken up this program, this particular course, yes. If you are a part of that particular diploma and you are studying that, yes. But you have applied and then you have you have just skipped it, probably for any good reason. It could be medical conditions, it could be, you know, that your curriculum year was not completed and you are still mentioning it. It might give you a drawback because it can come out as a story that you were offered from LA and then you could not perform just because you had medical conditions or probably XYZ reason, right? It can turn up to a story which is not a strength. Okay, and I can see, should I mention salary in my resume? No, this is a very big no. Do not mention your salaries until and unless it is being asked. Only in India we have this practice where we try to understand your last compensation and try to give you a very basic hike on it, which is not a standard practice. If you feel that companies come down with the standard packages, no, they do not. People offer way far beyond to what they have committed to placement committee just because you are an outperformer. Gap years, please mention. Uh, okay, so if you have had a gap year, try to refrain adding all your passing years. Okay, but if you have a good story that because of medical condition or because of XYZ reason, if you are confirmed with why you have had a gap other than drops, okay, if you have had a drop, simply just try to, you know, push it out. Do not use your years in the resume, but if at all it is a different thing, do put it out and be ready with your story. Just don't try to fall back. Hmm. Any other question? Krati, have I answered you or you have the doubt still?
I guess it's answered. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, great.
thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
So, by the way, Ace and Place team, do you guys have any question?
Well, we have already asked and you answered everything so amazingly. Like we are so impressed.
Okay, lovely. So you guys mentioned that you have worked with placement committees, you have connected with so many mentors on different social platforms, and you guys have great communication and designing skills. Whoever has designed Canva, whoever is pushing out things on LinkedIn, you guys are doing really great job. Do mention it in your profiles.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, one thing that we all have missed is using references. You don't need to use references over your profile, but keep your references intact. Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today. We truly appreciate the time and knowledge you have imparted. You covered each and every topic in detail and explained everything so meticulously, starting from formal photographs and to not writing in unprofessional emails and also not full addresses to and like that we should answer questions at the end of like interviews. So yeah, and the way you described the role of AI these days, genuinely, it was so good to learn from you today. On behalf of entire Hindu Consulting Group, please accept this small token of appreciation from our side.
It is my pleasure, Sneha. It is my pleasure to be with your team and have a lovely conversation. And all of you guys, if you all can turn on your videos, I can take a snapshot and put it out on my LinkedIn,
Ma'am, can you
mentioning
please,
that
yeah, stop sharing the screen so that we can present us.
yes, please 1 second.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your
Lovely.
expertise, insights, and passion have truly enlightened us today. We are grateful for the wealth of knowledge you have shared.
It is lovely to connect and give it back to the society. So,
Absolutely.
guys, let's have a picture.
Guys, please turn on your cameras.
So a lot of you who have just missed certain sessions, this particular PPT, I would be sharing the PDF format with your team. You can take it out and feel free to come back anytime you wish. My LinkedIn is clearly visible. So come out, have questions. I do one-on-one mentoring sessions with people who are looking out. Okay.
Ma'am, we will predict you over LinkedIn.
Happy to be a part of this particular conversation. Okay, great. I am just taking a snapshot. People, quickly smile. Lovely. Great faces. Okay, by the way, I missed out. Happy International Yoga Day, a great initiative started by one of our great leaders. I hope you all are aware, and all of you have had yoga today. No? What happened? Is there a story? I can see it on faces. People are laughing on describing yoga day. It's a good practice. As a student, you should have some physical activity aligned because it can help you manage your stress. So do a regular walk, probably just breathe in, breathe out exercises. You might find the difference after certain months or years, but it will build the discipline. Whenever you are entering into the industry, discipline is way important, and you'll understand once you're there in the industry. I hope to connect with all of you, and it was a great evening. Thanks a lot to have me.
Absolutely. ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the session, and thank you so much, Hindu Consulting Group, for this session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot
so
for giving
much,
me this
ma'am.
platform. Thank you.
So as we reach the end of this enlightening session on resume makeovers and career transformations, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here. Your presence and participation has truly made the session a great learning experience for each one of us. We will be meeting again tomorrow with yet another exciting session on interview mastery, unleashing your consulting interview skills. Until then, have a great day and continue your learning journey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a great evening and wonderful week ahead. I'll take an off. Bye, guys.
Bye, ma'am. Absolute honor to have you.
Thank you so much, Hindu Consulting Group, for this amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin, for
Thank you,
joining. It
Nitin.
was lovely
Thank you,
to
Nitin.
meet you.
Stay